Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about inflation and the 53 to 1 peso rate. It's 53 pesos to every $1 now, which is a really good bargain for Americans over here right now when you consider everything that's going on. Actually, for me, when I come over here, I was at 53 to 1 and then it dipped down and came back up again. So for me, it's like becoming full circle. I'm back to where I was when I came here. So for me, it's kind of a happy day to come back to this spot where I'm at now, because now I feel like I'm gaining some ground here a little bit. But now we got the 54 to 5.4, 5.3 inflation rate in the Philippines, and we have like a 8.8 or 8.3 inflation rate. Depending on where you read. The inflation rate back in the United States is going crazy. And it's out of this world. I believe it's probably even higher than that, than what some of these newspapers and articles that I'm reading are saying. I think it's higher than that, to be honest with you. We got some mosquito flying around here. Part of the thing is over here is gas is starting to catch up with us over here. We're paying in some places around 80 pesos to the liter. Some places it's a little bit less than that. It's in the 70s, mid to upper 70s. Some places it's higher. It's in the low to mid 80s for a liter of gasoline. So it's starting to catch up with us around here, and that's starting to cause inflation as far as anything that needs to be delivered: food, furniture, anything you buy that gets off a truck or an airplane or a ship or whatever. The rates are going to the roof. Anything to ship over to the Philippines is starting to cost you more. Everything is going up, okay? But in the United States, it's going up precipitously. So I'm kind of glad that I'm out of the United States, because I'm still getting more for my dollar over here. And with that 53 to 1 thing, that's been helping me. But also, your dollar just goes much further over here. And one thing I notice over here is housing, rentals. They don't go up that much. They go up a little bit. They are catching up a little bit, but not that much. I notice in this area there's still quite a lot of homes out there. I notice that there's a lot of homes still for rent out there in this area. Not usually close to me, but some places like maybe a little bit off in the distance. In General Trias, there's still a lot of rentals far away. On the other side of General Trias, not towards our side, in the Mangahan section. But also there's some other rentals, like 1-bedroom rentals, things like that, around here that you can get. And also in Indang, there's places. In Das Marinas, there's places you can get. Still get a good deal on those, by the way, and that's a good thing. I do notice that medical rates are starting to go up. I do notice that medicines are starting to go up a little bit, and that's not good for expats that are coming here, okay? But it's still cheaper than the United States. Everything here is a bargain compared to the United States. Now, people ask me, Steve, I hear that people can live over there on 500 or 600. That's what the average Filipino lives on. But they usually, when something happens, they don't have insurance. They have to go beg, borrow, and steal to pay a medical bill or what have you, or ask for help from people that are wealthier to help pay those medical bills. And it's not a fun lifestyle to live like that. So it's not an expat lifestyle. So get over that fact that you think you can come over here and you can live on 500 or 600 or even 1,000, because God forbid something happens and you don't have any emergency money, you're burned. You're screwed. You're done. A lot of expats come over here. They don't believe in getting. I get like a mosquito again. They don't believe in getting health insurance over here. You have to have health insurance. It's mandatory over here to have that. It's not legally mandatory. I'm saying it's mandatory for you, because if you don't, you're gonna end up, dying, because you don't have any money to pay for your bills, your medical bills. You got to have some sort of things. And I'm not talking about PhilHealth. PhilHealth is not enough to cover you unless you self-insure and you have a large sum of money in the bank. Then PhilHealth might be a little bit of a help to you if you do want to self-insure. But I do not recommend self-insuring, guys. It's just not a good idea. Get a Pacific Cross plan. There's cheaper plans out there you can get. I do recommend Pacific Cross. There's also a bunch of others, like I've mentioned before. There's Pacific Prime, which is a brokerage firm that'll give you 10 different quotes. You tell them what you're looking for, And if you're looking for $1 million worth of insurance, tell them you're looking for $1 million. If you're looking for $500,000, tell them what you need for insurance, and they'll look exactly for what you're looking for, and they'll give you the price for that. Because some people don't need $1 million worth of insurance. You don't need it. Most people do not need that type of insurance, especially over here, because healthcare over here is much cheaper than it is back in the States or any Western countries that you live in. So, and even though the prices are going up a little bit with inflation, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because it's not catching up that much. And still, you still get more bang for your dollar over here for healthcare. And also, the thing is, for rentals, like we just said, rentals are still a bargain over here. That's where you save most of your money in the Philippines and in Asia. You save most of your money over here on rents. Rather than living in the United States and living in some parts of the United States, it's $1,500 for a one bedroom in some places in Massachusetts and in New York, and even higher in California in some places for a rental, for a one bedroom rental. Whereas over here, I can go out and get a decent one bedroom rental for about $100 or $80 or $60. Yes, you heard that right. You might have to install a Western standard toilet there, but I mean, who cares? It really doesn't matter. If you have to put that in there, what's it going to cost you? It costs you $100 for a toilet or less. And maybe put an AC unit in there. There's if you put in one of the ones, like the ones that we have, like right above me, those go for about $600 for a decent one for 1 horsepower, 1.5 horsepower. You can get them for about $600, $700. That's a steal. And they're energy saving. They save a lot of energy. They don't cost a lot to run. The other thing here is electricity. Electricity back in the States always costed me more, and I didn't get a heck of a lot for what I was using it for. Usually, I'd shut off the AC during the day and I'd put it on at night, and my electric bill was still about $100 a month. Here, for $100 a month, I pay about $110. I have my AC running 24 hours a day, and I have 2 refrigerators, a big screen TV, and my computer runs all the time. Okay, that's about $110. So I'm getting a lot from my money. I know in other parts of the country it's cheaper. It varies throughout the United States. So some guys are gonna say, "Man, you paid that for this." I know, I get it. Each place is different, guys. Okay. So you don't need to write to me about it. But I do want to say this: that inflation over here is hurting the Filipinos more than it is the expats over here. It's hurting the expats that are coming over here on the lower budgets that think that they can make it over here forever. And they're about to find out that it's probably not going to happen, that they're probably going to get hurt more. They might have to go back to the States and either get subsidized housing, or they can choose to live here and live like a Filipino, which is, like I said, is not fun. But the people that are coming over here, the average expat that I see over here gets $2,000 plus. Okay, they get $2,000 a month plus. Okay, so that's a lot of pesos for your dollar. It's a lot of money over here. It's a lot. It carries you pretty far. Like I said, the average expat over here does pretty well. He lives very well. There's very few people over here that come over here and live on those cheap Charlie budgets. There's very few people that come over here on those. The ones that do it, they're not thinking. They're not using their head. Can you live on a lower budget, less than $2,000? Sure you can, but you really have to have an emergency fund. You have to have that startup fund. Can you live on $1,500? I wouldn't go lower than $1,500. I'll say that right now. We have a lot of people that are coming over here also with handicaps, sickness, a lot of issues like that. You have to remember, you're not going to get the same health care here as you are back home. And if you have a lot of medical bills, such as prescriptions and things like that, those are eventually going to go up, and you have to consider that. And some of those you might be paying out of pocket. So when you come over here, are you going to be able to pay for that and your housing and your food and take care of your girlfriend? And if she has kids and stuff, are you going to be able to take care of that? And what if your girlfriend gets sick? There's a lot to consider, and you have to write all this stuff down and say, okay, worst case scenario, can I afford this? And only you can figure that out. A lot of people are writing to me asking me to figure out their budgets, to figure out if I can help figure out if they can survive here. I can't help you figure it out. I don't know where you're going to live in the Philippines. I don't know if you're going to live in Makati. I don't know if you're going to live where I live. I really can't help you with that type of decision. It's not a decision I can make for you. You have to really look at it yourself and do your own homework. I have 17,000 subscribers. I wish I could help everybody out there, and I know I help a lot of people out there, but sometimes I get these questions that, you really need to think about it when you send it to me, because I don't have the time sometimes to be helping people with stuff like that, with budgets and things like that. I just don't. I help people more with getting into the country and getting over here and getting settled and things like that. That's what we help people do here, at the channel. We've helped quite a lot of people come in here, especially with the SRRV people or whatever. But as far as us surviving this inflation, I don't think we're going to have that big of an issue. Okay, I think we'll make it through. We'll make it through fine. I think our colas from the U.S. will take care of us the most. We're going to get a cost of living increase next year, and probably for the guys that get them in July, we'll be getting some in July too. That'll take care of us quite a lot, especially the guys on the bigger budgets and stuff like that. We're going to, some of the guys are going to get some really, really good colas. I mean, the guys on the lower budgets of $1,000 or something like that, when you get a 8.3% or 8.9% increase, it's pretty good for you, but it's way better if you're making $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 like some guys are getting. That's a big, substantial boost for some people. But guys, don't worry about too much about inflation if you do get the colas. The only guys that really need to worry about that are the guys that don't get the colas or that are on the low budgets, because I think in reality the inflation rate is way more than what they're saying out there. Okay, I don't think it's 5.4 or 5.5 in the Philippines, despite that's what they're saying. I think it's much more than that. I mean, I went out to buy some pasta the other day at one of the big restaurants. It's usually it was $3.99 a couple years ago. 399 pesos. Okay, it went all the way up to like $4.79. Now that's almost 20%, a 20% increase. Almost. It's pretty close to it. Okay, that's a lot of money. So increases are happening, they're gonna happen, but I think these colas will kind of get us over that. I think the 53 to 1 peso, if we stay at that rate or we go higher, I think it'll pretty much help us over here. But so far, so good. Am I hurting over here? No, I'm not hurting. I think I'm right at the place where I was 4 years ago when I came here now. And that's a good place. Anyway, guys, I just want to chat about that a little bit. I had somebody at the VA ask me about it, to do a thing on inflation and to do a thing about the peso and dollars and stuff like that. So I figured I'd do this for them because they wanted that information. I think it kind of helps everybody out there to understand what's going on over here in comparison to the U.S. I hope I mentioned enough things in here to help everybody. But if you have any comments or questions or anything, leave them there. I'll try to answer most of them if I can. Sometimes we get tied up or backed up or whatever, and it might take me a while to get to them. And also the emails, I usually get to those now within 24 to 48 hours. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Take care, guys.